Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Raffy Hasan, and today I will do some mid tests for semantics. I'll do a presentation about meeting tree, meanings, and readings. So there is 5 contents that I will explain in this presentation. So let's jump into the first one is lexemes. So in lexemes in semantics represents the fundamental units of meanings within a language. They serve as the elemental building blocks from which the vast tapestry of vocabulary and linguistic expression is woven. While often associated with individual words, lexemes extend beyond more lexical items to encompass more themes, those small units of language that carry meanings as well. Consider the word unhappiness. Within this single word, there exists 3 distinct lexemes, each contributing its unique semantic essence to the overall meanings, and as a prefix, signifying negations or reversal. Happy as the root conveying the core concepts of joy or contentment, and ness as a suffix, denoting a state or quality. Together, these lexemes interplay to convey the nuanced meaning of the word unhappiness, representing the absence or opposites of joy or contentment. We use many phrases with special meanings that aren't obvious from the individual words. These include idioms like throw in the towel, meaning to give up, and common combinations like what, lie, or little finger. These phrases are called lexemes or lexical items. Lexemes make up the language lexicon, which is a big collection of words and phrases in our minds. The meanings of these lexemes aren't just words, they are concepts. Dictionaries try to explain these meanings with other words, but they can't explain everything. Lexical meanings are stored in our minds differently from simple definitions in a dictionary. Each lexemes can be used in different ways with sentence. It's depending on its grammatical category, like verb, noun, adjective, and more. For example, like can be a verb, like the candle, or can be a noun, a bright light, or an adjective, a light color. Some words can belong to more than one category. Language have rules about how words change from depending on how they use. For example, English nouns have singular and plural forms, fridge and fridges, and adjectives have different forms for comparisons, like, lighter, and like this. Verb change for tense and person, sing, sang, and sings. Some words don't follow the usual rules for forming the different forms. These are called irregular. For example, sang is the past tense of sings, and children is the plural of child. The simplest form of a word is called the citizen form, and that usually the one listed in the dictionary. Second one is homonym. In semantics, homonymy refers to a situation where 2 or more words share the same form or spelling or pronunciations but have different meanings. These words are called homonyms. For example, bank can mean a place to save money or the side of a river. It can be confusing because the same words can have different meanings depending on the situation. Homonyms make language more interesting because they show how one word can have many meanings. They also make communication more challenging because you need to understand the context to know which meaning is intended. Understanding homonyms help us to see how flexible and complex language can be. It shows that words can change and adapt to convey different ideas, making communication richer and more dynamic. Third one is polysemy. Polysemy is when a word has more than one related meaning. It's quite common and happens a lot. Instead of making a new word for new things, language often use existing words for similar things. This can happen naturally as a language evolves. For example, let's look at the word like. It can mean the glow we see like from a lamp, or it can refer to things like lamp themselves, traffic signal, or bright areas. These meanings are connected. Even the word heavy, which is the opposite of like, has different meanings too, like describing a white or something difficult. Polysemy happens within a single language. For instance, think about the color word in English. Many of them have meanings not related to color. Take green. For example, it can mean unripe, like when we say fruit, it's still green and not ready to eat. This happens because the green color of fruit often means it's not ripe yet. From there, it can also mean immature, like comparing a person's developments to fruit ripening. Polysemy follows certain patterns, but we cannot always predict which words will have multiple meanings or what those meanings will be. It's a big part of how language changes over time as words shift and new meanings develop. Number four is forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't the same as having multiple meanings. Many words can be used in different ways depending on the situation, and the exact meaning might not always be clear cut. For example, whether we call a child a baby might depend on things like child's age or stage of development. These factors can vary from person to person. So what one person considers as a baby, another might not. This means that the word baby has flexible boundaries, but it doesn't mean it has countless meanings. Instead, the concept of baby itself is a vague, meaning it can adapt to different situations. Forgiveness is common with concepts that vary on continuous scale, like colors of size. For instance, whether something is considered big or good depends on degrees. Most words then can be compared like tall and short or vague because they are used to describe things on a scale rather than with a precise sorry, measurements. Forgiveness is actually helpful in language because it allows for quick communications. Instead of giving exact measurements, we can use vague words like tall or short to roughly describe things. This makes everyday communication much simpler. Sometimes also forgiveness and multiple meanings can go together. For instance, the word like has different meanings related to things like why or difficulty. Each of these meanings describes something at a low level on its own scale, which makes them forgotten. Number five is synonym. Two words are considered synonyms if they have the same meanings. This called total synonym. It's pretty rare for two words to be total synonyms because most words have different meanings depending on the context. However, there are cases or partial synonym where two words share one meaning, but not all. For example, spectacles and glasses can be partial synonyms because they both refer to things to people where to see better, but glasses can also mean the material made of glass. And another example is the United States and America, which are often used interchangeably, but America can also refer to entire continent, including North, Central, and South America. Words can also be partial synonyms if they have the same meanings, but different social or expressive connotations. This means they describe the same things but carry different feeling or associate. While synonym is interesting to think about it, it's even more challenging to find words in different languages that mean the same thing. So that's all my PPT for the mid-test for semantics. And thank you and see you again.